Good evening and welcome to Omnibroslive. That's right, this is Omnibroslive. I'm OmniDog from OmniDog's Vault, and with me tonight, as usual, from Near Mint Condition, Omar. Omar, how's it going?
It's going good, my friend. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope
We,
everybody's having a good night and get ready for some fun because we have a really good topic tonight.
yes, we came upon this topic just by throwing everything against the wall, and this one was the one that stuck.
We plan way ahead of time for you guys.
This is better than our usual 5 minutes to 8, so this is good.
It is true. We're doing a ton better. That was like 20 minutes away.
We did get a lot of ideas when we started talking about it, so
That is
that's
true.
good. Most of them were top 5 ideas, top 5 candy stores we visited and things like that. But so before we get started, who is our great sponsor? Omar, would you like to take a swing at this pitch?
Yeah, sure. I don't think I can do it as much justice as you, but I can give it a shot. Our sponsor is www. Oh my gosh, I don't even type that anymore. InStockTrades.com. So they offer usually 42 to 50% off on omnibuses, hardcovers, trade paperbacks, pretty much anything in the collected comic book world. This is the place you want to go. And if you live inside of the United States, it is free shipping if you spend $50 or more, and it's media mail. But you can upgrade it to FedEx, I believe, for another $5. It's up to you guys. I don't believe anybody has bomb-proof packaging, but Jess does. And
I bet you could drop it off a 3-story building and it'd be fine. We should try that.
you know what? No, I will let you try that with your books. But yes, In Stock Trades is our wonderful sponsor. I hope everybody's having a good night. So are you ready? Jess, what is our topic?
Our topic tonight is Omnibus collections we wish were and those we wish weren't.
Okay, now, is there a limit? Can we do 100? Can we do 5? Because there's so many books I want. Or are we limited it to 5 each? How about we do 5 of each?
Okay,
In case our we cross streams.
Gross.
Not like that. Like brain streams, you know.
I have, let's see, I believe I have 5 that I wish weren't, but I have 4. I thought we were limiting us to 4, so.
Wait a minute. You own 5 that you wish weren't? Because I saw you. Okay.
No, I got online and printed out copies of them. Printed out pictures of them.
Oh wow, you did come prepared, dude. We thought about this like 20 minutes ahead of time. All right,
man.
I guess you are. So, you want to do wish that were first or wish that didn't exist first?
You go first and you choose.
Okay, I'm gonna go with wish that weren't.
Wish that weren't. Okay.
Yes. So my number 1 is the Marvel Now Omnibus.
That would be one of my choices too, and I believe that is this. Is that correct?
That is correct. Now, see, this is why I told you we should do 5, because I figured both of us would probably pick one of those. I don't like collections that are not in chronological order, nor do I also don't like collections that are like that don't mesh well. And this one here doesn't mesh well at all. Mainly because it's just number 1 issues from when Marvel did their relaunch back, I believe, in 2000 and oh my gosh, it's been that long. I guess it was 2014, 2015 when the Marvel Now universe came out, maybe 2013. But anyway, they were just number 1 issues. I believe 40 something of them were collected in this, and probably 4 or 5 were about good. And those that were good, you were like, well, I want to read more of that. Oh, too bad, because now I got to read some other shitty Marvel Now title because all they collected is number 1s. So that's my big issue with that one. Is that the same issue you had?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of collections of number 1 issues, and that includes, this next one too, which would be Marvel the 1990s.
Ugh, yeah, exactly.
Is that just first issues too, I think?
Yep.
Yeah, even worse, it's the 1990s.
Okay, wait a minute now. There's
I knew that would get you.
calm your tits. There's some good stuff in there.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of single issue collections, and that includes Rebirth. Even as great as I think Rebirth is, I think that first issue collections are a complete money grab, and I don't think they lead to any kind of helpful knowledge other than you go, oh, as you said, oh, great, this is a good story, but it cost me $100 to get this book, and a bunch of crappy stories are in here too. So you really don't get a chance to experience any of the stories in whole or get a feel for the characters. So yeah, I dislike all those, as you say.
All those, as I say. Okay. Hold on. Avatar brought up a really, really good point. What's the point of discussing omnibuses that should not be? It doesn't hurt anyone. Maybe a few people like it. You never know. You are absolutely right. I'm sure more than a few people like some of these omnis. These are just our opinions. These are our omnibuses that we don't care for, and there. I think I get upset at the existence of some of these because I'm just like some people will probably mention The Crossing, because I think there are other stories that should have been collected rather than having, for example, like that Marvel 1990s collection that Jess held up. I wish they had done like a Darkhawk omnibus or a Sleepwalker omnibus. That's the kind of reason we're doing this. So we're starting off with the 5 that we wish didn't exist and 5 that we wish did. By the way, Sleeper and Darkhawk are not on my list.
No,
they would. If we had a top 20, they definitely would have made it, or at least Darkhawk.
Yeah, I agree with you that Avatar has a good point. This is just our opinion, and we needed a topic to fill up a show, and that's the topic we came up with. So it's just, and it's not that we're gonna. I don't think naming these ones is going to hurt anybody. I think the ones we name are probably going to be pretty obvious as ones that shouldn't exist, because the main reason they shouldn't exist is exactly as Omar said. They could have taken that time, money, and effort and made something that people really wanted. So I think we're not busting on anybody for liking a particular thing. If anything, we're kind of saying to the publishing companies, why'd you even waste our time with this? It's really not fun or funny or helpful or anything. So do something that really helps. Omnibus shaming.
Yeah, I read that too. Thanks. All right. So for my next one, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. I'm gonna go with Alias.
Oh, Alias.
People love Alias. Absolutely love it. That to me was a book that was way overrated. Both the art and the story by Bendis. Now, I was never a big Bendis fan. And when I first I got this as a gift.
My shocked face.
Shut up. And the thing is, I actually own this omnibus to this day because this was a gift from a friend of mine. And this is the first printing. So there for a while, I thought about selling it, but I'm like, she'll come over and then be like, hey, where's that Alias book? I sold it. But anyway, I just was not a big fan of the character. I was not a big fan of the story. Some of them were interesting enough, but I kind of liked the idea of maybe that existing in a pocket universe instead of the regular Marvel universe. But by the end of the series, he was kind of pushing more towards like, oh no, this character is definitely in the 616 universe. I found it to be a waste of my time. So that's mine. I know, like I said, lots of people love it. More power to you all. That's awesome. I know.
Well, thank you for giving me the power to turn your dial off and get rid of you. I'm putting you in the banhammer.
Yeah, man. I've never been a big fan of Alias. To me, I think that was one of his most annoying works that he did. I don't know why. I never liked the character.
Annoying work. I don't know why. That just sounds funny to me.
I have friends that are feminist, like my female friends that are feminist and guy friends too, and they get on me about the show. And one of the comments they made was like, maybe it's because you're a woman, you don't like the character, or you're not a woman, you don't understand the character. And I'm like, I can't really say much. I'm like, no, it's just because she kind of annoys the shit out of me, and I never liked the source material. So anyway, what's yours?
Let's see. So many to choose from. I'm gonna go.
So many bad ones. I couldn't find that many bad ones.
Oh, I could.
Really?
I have plenty of bad ones. I don't own any of them, but and one I have will surprise you, but this shouldn't surprise you because this was a lame event that I think started out well, but quickly deteriorated into terribleness. People, I don't know. I actually don't hear it talked about, so I don't know how people feel about it. I thought it was a big system-wide, comic-wide event for DC that I just think quickly descended into a bunch of mishmash, nonsense, gobbledygook, and then this omnibus didn't help it. Future's End 5 years later. This omnibus doesn't...
Wow! I didn't like that, huh?
I did not like it. If this is a bunch of one-shots of what happened 5 years later. I don't care about Future's End. I don't care about 5 years later. I care about the fact that so many artists and writers were involved in this that could have been doing something else productive. And just because it's got like Scott Snyder and Jeff Lemire in it doesn't mean anything. I hated Future's End, and I thought this was a particularly cruel use of paper and people's money to do 5 years later. Blah. So there you go.
Okay.
Not a fan.
You know who else doesn't like that book is DC, because they apparently don't ever mention it again. Like later on, it's just they kept it in the New 52 universe. So there's that. At least you got that. At least DC agrees with you.
Yeah, and I just want to apologize. I want to apologize to Crazy Jane. It has nothing to do with you. I'm glad you liked Future's End. All these books are going to have fans. It's just that we weren't fans of them, and it's nothing personal against you, Crazy Jane. I'm sure you have good taste in comics. You like our show, so that shows you have good taste. So please don't take it personally. It's not an attack on you.
I feel like we're going to be apologizing every time we say one of these. Because wait for it. Women of Marvel. Women of Marvel is one of my least. I bought it. Used. I found it for $30 and I read it not knowing. I thought it was like, for some reason I went into it buying it thinking it was like A-Force or something, like an actual new title, but no, it's just a collection. And the reason I don't like it, it's not because I don't like women.
You don't like women. You don't like smart women.
I happen to love women a lot, and the problem is with that book is that it's not. Once again, it's just a collection of stories from different eras in Marvel. So that's why I don't like it. Yeah, there were some good, like, John Byrne stuff, but then you could have picked that up through Fantastic Four Omnibus and things like that. So that's one that I did not like.
I actually own that book, and I actually like that book. So I take it as a personal attack. Fuck you.
I was looking at your shelf before we started the show.
No, my Marvel shelf is facing that way, this way. So it's.
Don't know the cameras that I've installed on your statues. Shut up, Nick Munoz. He said aliens and women of Marvel. Just saying. Oh my God.
Yeah, we're seeing a pattern develop here.
My feminist fucking friends are gonna come and beat my ass now.
I like that book just because of all.
Old stories. I'm gonna go on the record and just say, if there was a Men of Marvel, I would not buy it either. It would be on the bottom 5.
Okay.
I don't like omnis that are just scattered about. Like, that makes no sense. I would rather have a sequential story told, a collection of stories, instead of something like that should exist. Anyway, yes.
Right. I like the old stories, the Golden Age and Silver Age stories, and that. So that's why I got that, just because they were fun.
And some of those were not collected anywhere else too. But
right.
It was too much shelf space for a couple stories.
Lloyd Wong has named the next one.
Really? What did he say?
He said New 52 Red Hood and the Outlaws. There's
Okay, that
absolutely
doesn't exist yet. It hasn't dropped yet.
well, that doesn't matter. It's gonna exist. It's a real book. It's coming
All
out.
right.
There's no reason for this book to exist. Nobody liked New 52 Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Okay,
Nobody.
you can't make a statement like that. Scott Lobdell and his mom. I'm sure.
I apologize to Scott Lobdell's mother.
I told you
and
this
to Scott
episode's gonna
Lobdell.
be nothing.
Nothing but apologies. We should rename it the Apology Show.
We really should. And Omar gets his ass beat by his feminist friends.
Okay, I'll dial it back. I don't think very many people cared for this run particularly. I was not one of them. I thought it was not well written. The art got funky towards the end. I've never particularly cared for Red Hood, so there's my bias there. I've never cared for Jason Todd as Robin, nor as Red Hood. Now, of course, it's all changed due to Rebirth, where it's my favorite book, and I don't know how that happened, but Scott Lobdell is a great writer now, in my opinion. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing it right. But I just, to me, not many people were asking for this. I don't think it was very popular. I can think of a ton of New 52 other things, that could be released in omnibus form that were more popular or better written.
Like Deathstroke the Terminator. Oh, wait. That's the next one on my list. For the exact same reasons you talked about. But you know what? This is the sad thing about both of those books. They probably will be sitting on my shelf. Because I love the art. I'm an idiot for art. So oversized artwork. I like Kenneth Rocafort and I like Tony Daniel. And I believe, who else? I can't remember. Somebody else was on that book that I wanted on the Deathstroke book. But anyway, I like oversized artwork. I mean, why do you think I own all this Ultimate shit? You think I actually read that? That's Gabe. I don't read that crap. Like, I mean, sometimes Spawn. I have Spawn up on that shelf. Nobody reads that shit. Not even Todd McFarlane. Man, this is nothing but an apologist episode. I'm sorry. Anybody that reads Spawn, that's awesome. But you know, sometimes I own books because I like to look at the artwork. So
that's valid.
And it's actually the way Gio described it. He was just think about it this way: you're just paying like $35 for an art book that happens to have word bubbles in it. So there's that. So maybe if I find them for a decent price, and because I'm totally hating on them now because they should not exist. You're absolutely right. Deathstroke or Red Hood and the Outlaws. But if I find them for a decent price, I will probably pick them up because I'm a big fan of the art. And that is one of my weaknesses. So, what's your last one? And
I think there's lots of Spawn lovers in the chat. It looks like.
Yeah, like.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna get my ass whooped by a bunch of Spawn-loving feminists.
Yeah. I have actually. I thought I have one more, but I have ones that are probably popular and you probably own them, but I'm not big fans of them. I didn't even think of them until just now, but I'm not a big a fan of like the Marvel Universe by Chris Claremont or the Marvel Universe by John Byrne. The only reason I'm not a fan the only reason I'm not a fan of those books is because it's almost like the first issue books. You can't read a continuous story in the whole thing. It's just going to be a bunch of chopped up samplers put in there, even if there is an arc that's finished. To me, they just feel sort of choppy. And for that reason, I have decided not to get Venom versus Spider-Man because I realized it's just going to be Venom appearances, and it may be dropped in the middle of a couple other issues where you don't get the full complete thing. It's just going to be Venom all of a sudden. Now the Omnibus is different. I believe that's going to be completed stories, but Venom versus Spider-Man, yeah. But Venom versus Spider-Man, I get the feeling it's going to be like Punisher Back to War.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The Punisher Back to War almost made my list, but there was another story I hated more than that. No, I am completely with you. Those the Chris Claremont, the John Byrne books. I don't like character centric books, or not, sorry, creator centric books like that. I've never been a fan of those. I would rather have a, Uncanny X-Men Volume 4, which we'll get to in a minute.
Mm.
But instead of these books that come out, and I wonder if it has something to do with, of course, name recognition, right? Or I see. I don't know who people are that would buy books like that. Like, you have to really, really like John Byrne's art, or really like Chris Claremont's writing. I do, but I'm just waiting around, hoping that all this stuff will be eventually collected in some kind of format.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Philip Evans brings up a good point about Spider-Man Venom, that it's going to have Maximum Carnage in it in oversized form.
Yeah,
So,
but if you think about it, that's $125 for 18 issues, though. I
okay.
think it was 18. It could be 24. I could be wrong.
I was talked back into it, and now I'm talked back out of it.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna spend it because I'm buying it too. Mainly because of fucking Maximum Carnage. When I know damn well they're gonna release a David Michelini and Mark Bagley omnibus that will follow the Eric Larson omnibus and contain all that stuff. But just in case, son of a bitch, I've fallen into the Marvel trap.
Yeah, Spider-Man by Eric Larson was another one that just had the Eric Larson issues, and so there was stuff missing in there that could have completed the storyline.
No,
right?
well, no, it followed the McFarlane omnibus. So the McFarlane omnibus, it followed like right after that.
And so, so those are complete stories.
Yeah, and then they also included the adjectiveless Spider-Man comics that he drew, like the Revenge of the Sinister Six, which is one of my awesome '90s favorite like Spider-Man stories. But
shitty books.
Shut up. Anyway, to finish off this run and to piss more people off, the Marvel's Omnibus. I was not a fan of that book of Marvel Zombies. I think the one miniseries was good enough, and maybe their appearance in Ultimate Fantastic Four, but after that, I think they just ran that idea into the ground. And of course, they were cashing in on the zombie hype that was going around at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And there are better stories out there that should have been collected long before Marvel's Omnibus. I'm sorry that anybody that owns it and loves it.
Okay. My last choice is controversial until you hear my reasoning. Justice League Darkseid War.
I get it.
The first part of first of all, I loved all of Justice League by Jeff Johns. I'm one of the few. I didn't even know there were a bunch of people that didn't seem to care for the first part of it. I loved the first part of it because it was so new and different. But the first part of it's in absolute form. Second part's not even collected. And then the third part's of omnibus. That's nutty. That's just who in the collected editions department made this decision that we'd go absolute nothing omnibus. I mean,
no, you're right. And sadly, that's the way things are collected sometimes. It seems like DC is doing so much better now in the collected department, but they are still miles behind Marvel, I think, when it comes to some of these things. When it comes to unity, you know what I'm saying? Like things coming together, like you said, stick to a format. If you're going to release an omnibus format of the Justice League stories, then do it from the beginning. Don't do it from the book end of the title. That's just stupid. I mean, you know the problem though, right? They were cashing in on the movie that came out that year, where Darkseid was supposed to make an appearance, but somebody smarter than Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon decided to cut that scene out. So I don't know. That's probably why they released it.
I loved all of Justice League, including Darkseid War. It's just, and I'm not one. I don't have non-matching spine disorder. You can you can throw out all different spines as long as it's in the same format. If I had 3 Omnis of that Justice League run, I'd be very happy. But instead, I got a mixed bag of a bunch of different stuff and I'm not happy about it at all.
Yeah. All right, Jess, calm down. Because now you're gonna be happy because we're gonna talk about our 5.
Our
5. This was hard. What the hell's the name of this episode? Wish they did exist.
Yeah, we wish these ones did exist.
Okay. Now, there are no rules here, right? I could pick a volume 2 out of a pre-existing volume. I could pick something that doesn't matter, correct? DC, Marvel, Image, whatever.
Pretty sure you can do whatever you want.
Awesome. So why don't you start?
Okay.
Did
I'm
you draw
going to...
these? Did you draw? Because you're holding... Oh, never mind.
No, these are actual books I own.
Okay. So
um,
you made your own covers.
I drew my own covers. That would have been great. I would have needed all day for that, though. The first one I chose, Suicide Squad, John Ostrander.
I would buy that book. In
Yeah.
a heartbeat.
Yeah, this is well-written Suicide Squad. This has everything the movie and the current Suicide Squad is. This is the exact opposite, because this is good Suicide Squad. And the only reason I like Suicide Squad from New 52 and Rebirth, of course, is because of Harley. And I get it just for the Harley appearances, but even I admit they're not that great of books. But this is the positive thing. John Ostrander's Suicide Squad, really, really good. Everything, these are just fun comics that were well written. It does have very of its time art, as you can see, including a policeman with rolled up sleeves to show his bicep, which is weird. But I would totally love to get a Suicide Squad omnibus by John Ostrander.
I am with you. I totally agree with that. So, yeah, that is a wonderful series that is way overlooked, and we're finally getting it in trade paperback format. Come on, I mean, that series has been out since the 80s. See, this is what I mean by DC's collected editions department finally getting their shit together. Of course, we're left stranded with some of these bat titles that are just sitting there for some reason. So now my turn. I got to redeem myself, according to the chat, because I picked some good books, apparently, I didn't want to exist. So I'm going to go with Super Pro. No, I'm kidding. Kidding. Yeah. Joking. Honestly, these have already come out, but I would love these in omnibus format. And this is Fables. I would love to own Fables in omnibus format and include Jack of Fables in there and crossover and things like that. That'll be good. I think that would be a great series to collect in omnibus format. And that's why I haven't bought the hardcovers yet, because I'm still hoping, man. I'm hoping.
Oh, see, I'm okay with oversized hardcovers of stuff, but I understand that you want it in omnibus form.
Well, I have the trades, and I did not upgrade to the oversized hardcovers because I'm hoping that the Omni would come out. But that's on my list.
Well, I love Fables. I love the oversized hardcovers, and I love everything to do with Fables. Fables.
Wait, who the fuck says Fables sucks?
Who's Joe Jessup?
Get that guy out of here.
That's the wrong attitude.
Me or him?
Him.
I should not kick people out for not agreeing with me. That's wrong. But the second time he disagrees with me, he's fucking out of here. All right. So what's your next pick, man?
My next pick is a book I love and is probably, I think, just right for an omnibus. I don't know if the studio doesn't really do omnibus books. They do oversized hardcovers. I'm talking about Image. I don't know that I've seen an omnibus from Image. They tend to put out big, massive books or just oversized hardcovers, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about Postal. I love Postal. Great story. I would love to see this kind of quirky, fun artwork and this brilliant story in oversized hardcover or in a big, thick omnibus. There's 5 or 6. I think there's 6 trades, and then there's some one-shots that have been released that I need to get my hands on. I've downloaded a bunch of the one-shots, 2 or 3 of them, but I know there's more that have been released. But I love Postal, and I would love to see this in a big, oversized omnibus. Postal.
Who is the creative team behind that?
Matt Hawkins and who drew Brian Hill and Matt Hawkins are the writers, and in this first one that I've got, Isaac Goodhart is the artist. I can't say for sure that the artist stays the same in all of them. I can't remember, but Matt Hawkins stays the same. He's created a whole Edenverse that they sort of, in a Venn diagram, they sort of gently connect, but they're independent with Tithe and Think Tank, which are also great books. But yeah, Matt Hawkins is a great creator, I think, because of the Edenverse. I think it's really good.
And all these stories intertwine.
They're separate, and sometimes they sort of gently refer to each other. There is one book that called, oh shoot, now I can't think of the name of it. Eden is Burning or something, that all three of them cross into, but it's still separate from everything else. But yeah, they can all be read independently of each other, but they're in the same universe.
Okay. Cool. This was difficult for me because there's so many books that I wish would come out. And then there are books that I'm like, why am I even adding on this on the list? Because I know they'll be out. Like Uncanny X-Men Volume 4. I know that will eventually come out. There's no way in hell Marvel does not publish those books. They maybe a little iffy with the Dire Wraiths in it because of ROM and stuff like that, but I think they still own the rights to those characters. Not ROM, but Dire Wraiths. So I'm going to go with something that probably will not come out, sadly, because they have not re-released the first volume, and that is Wolverine Volume 2. Wolverine Volume 1 had, good Lord, I bought mine in 2010, and that was when it was going out of print. And
this is the Frank Miller, Chris Claremont Wolverine.
It's got Frank Miller, Chris Claremont's Wolverine. It's got Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. It's got the Marvel Comics Presents. It's got the Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X. It has everything, every iconic story of Wolverine except for Origin. And then it also has the ongoing series all the way to 10. So Volume 2, I would love to start off with issue 11, which is the Peter David run, and then go all the way up until the Mark Silvestri stuff. I mean, that all the way up to like 50. Oh my God, that would make my day with the Return to Weapon X, the Shiva stuff, the Wolverine 34, which is probably one of my favorite comic books ever. I love that issue. The early 30, 31, 32, the early Mark Silvestri and Larry Hama stuff. It's a crime we don't have a Larry Hama omnibus. So I figured if they were to release Volume 2, it would match up to Volume 1. But like I said, that's one of mine. I would love to own that.
Nick Martin, if you can see in the chat, tends to agree with you.
All right, thank you.
All it says is Wolverine. And Chase Chu, Eden's Fall. Great. Thank you for reminding me. It's called Eden's Fall, and that's in the Postal Edenverse. That's where all three books crash together, but that's still separate than everything else, just about. It's still tied into some things, but you don't, I mean, it's good to have it and read it, but your life will still be rich and full if you don't. But yeah, Eden's Fall, that's what it is. Thanks, Chase. Is it my turn now that you're
sir.
Talking about Wolverine? Yep. I'm going to talk about, I don't know why this hasn't been released in oversized hardcover. I don't know why it hasn't been released in omnibus form, but I love this book. This is a top 10 book for me, and I think it's a crime that it's just standard sized. I'm glad it's collected at least, because I have some hardcovers, and that would be Astro City. I'd love to see Astro City in omnibus form.
Damn, you are on a roll, dude. I completely agree with Astro City. I haven't read any Postal, so I don't know. But oh my God, why don't we have this in Omni format?
I don't know, and I don't know why it's standard form. It's so dinky, and I do like the artwork in this. Oh, I see that it's not what's his name Anderson's artwork in this. I haven't read this yet. This is Ordinary Heroes, which has a funny cover with Jack in the Box standing in front of a urinal. But I wish this was at least an oversized hardcover. Standard hardcovers just to me are ugh, not worth it, man. Come on. This is Kurt Busiek. This is great. Astro City is fantastic, and everybody needs to read this just in general, but it would be really great to have this in an omnibus or at least oversized hardcovers. This is a disservice to this comic book to have it just standard size.
I agree. That's a wonderful book. I haven't read, God, I probably 10 years since I read the last Astro City. Because it was whole thing with Image. I think Vertigo owns them now, right? And they own the rights to everything?
Yeah, and that's what I don't have them down here anymore, but yeah, it goes through like what the first imprint was. I think it started with Homage and then went to like
part of like Image.
Right, and then went to Wildstorm and then went to something and then finally Vertigo, or maybe even DC's on a spine. I mean, if you get a set of those, if you have non-matching spine disorder, you're going to go cross-eyed because the publishing of the original ones, I think Vertigo's reprinting all of them, but if you get the original ones like I have, there's like 6 different publishers that it's come out from. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I actually like it. It shows something interesting to me with all the different little insignias going. But yeah, Astro City. Boy, ye.
Yeah, good choice, man.
Thank you.
So a lot of this is like a disservice, I think. I just talked about Larry Hama and Mark Silvestri Wolverine, and you spoke of Kurt Busiek. I'm surprised that's not in Omni format. So this one really shocks me because there's not a lot of omnibus collection of this character. Then last year there were 2 more. There was only one, and that was Hulk Volume 1. And then last year Planet Hulk came out, and then Werewolf Hulk came out. Why the fuck don't we have a Peter David omnibus? And the man, I mean, you could do an omnibus of the first 4 Visionaries and have Todd McFarlane on art, Eric Larson on artwork, and eventually Del Keown. All these guys left to go to Image. And I mean, granted, it's early Todd McFarlane stuff, right? I mean, so it's a little dated, late 80s, early 90s, right before he went on to Spider-Man, before he found his voice. But I mean, there's some classic issues in here, and then there's that classic Ground Zero. I have no idea why we don't have a Hulk omnibus by Peter David, and that is a crime because these stories are amazing. He completely changed the character. Well, at least for me, he completely changed the character into somebody I was interested in, because before then, Hulk was just one of those books I would read because it crossed over with one of the main titles I was reading, or an annual event. I would have to buy an annual event that he was in. He wasn't one of my favorite characters, but man, he completely changed the character, or changed the character enough where I was so interested in this. So much so that it was one of the last titles I gave up before I stopped reading comic books. So yes, Peter David, Hulk.
I completely agree with you, only based on what you and tons of other people have said. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but it sounds incredible. But I really need to read it. Sadly, it's just one of those things I haven't got to yet. But yeah, I completely agree with you. It needs an Omni. We're getting some good suggestions in the chat. Red Hulk Omnibus, that's a good one. Question Omnibus by Dennis O'Neil.
Oh God, the Question almost made my top 5. That's definitely in my top 10.
Yeah, and then another one somebody was saying that a lot of people would like would be Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah. I asked Tomasi about that, and he was like, "Yeah, DC still said it's coming, but they've been saying it's for 2 years, so who knows?"
Yeah, I think Trigonosis. I don't know if Trigonosis is in the chat tonight, but I think he asked Tomasi the same thing, and Tomasi gave him the same answer. Like, we're supposed to be getting it. There's another one, X Factor. Peter David's X Factor. That
absolutely
needs an Omni.
The original would only take 1 Omni, and then the new series, it's about 4 probably, including all new X Factor. It's great stuff. Peter David is just amazing. His Captain Marvel stuff. Did they mention Captain Marvel too?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, yeah, that stuff. Oh my god, so many great books out there. So this was hard to me. This was difficult because there's so many books I want, and
Yeah.
I'm only naming ones that I don't think they'll make, or why aren't they here?
Right. Yeah.
So what's next for you, my friend?
The next one is, she wrote a book that is her greatest work, I think, and that's Clean Room, but her second greatest work, Gail Simone's Secret Six. I would love to see Secret Six in an omnibus format. I love Secret Six. I read it in floppies, and then I got it in trades. I need to reread it again. I think it's crazy good and crazy writing with crazy characters. I love this book, and I think Secret Six has an awful lot of fans out there, and I think that it would sell well. We're probably lucky we're even getting trade paperbacks of it, but I think that it would be a wonderful omnibus.
The trades were out of print for a while, a couple of them, and then they released like thicker trades of complete collections.
Right.
Like, yeah, those are. I own the original one, so they're thinner. I think you would probably only need 2 Omnis, right, to collect everything.
Let's see. Yeah, I think so. I believe it's just 1 through 4, and then she's got some Secret Six from New 52. It looks like.
And I would include the Villains United.
Oh yeah.
From the Infinite Crisis countdown. I would include that in the Omni.
I can't remember if this is new. This is not New 52. This is just a separate Secret Six run.
Yeah.
This shows less than I know the other run, but it's still really good.
I completely agree. That's a good run.
Well, that's good, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. You're on fire.
Woo! Hit the like button. We're on fire tonight. Everybody hit the like button. Smash it.
All right, where are we? 4? Am I on my 4th one? You got one more? I got one more after this. Okay.
Uh-oh.
This is tough. So, Flash by Mark Waid. Please, DC. I will double dip. I will keep buying these trade paperbacks. Just promise me that there's going to be a Flash omnibus by Mark Waid eventually. Because, oh my God, we so need it. I love the Jeff Johns stuff. I love it. But, I mean, Mark Waid is the one that started the whole mythos, the Speed Force. This run was so phenomenal. I don't know how they would do it, though, because in the middle, he takes a break, right? Because we're getting an Impulse omnibus by Mark Waid. I'm excited about that. But he takes a break, and a couple other writers come in. I think Mark Miller and Grant Morrison. So I mean, they could stick that in an omnibus too, and then he finishes off his run with Brian Augustine, and I mean that lines up perfectly with Jeff Johns' Omnis. So come on, DC. The artwork: Mike Wieringo, Salvador La Roca, and some Travis Cheres, who doesn't even draw comics anymore, sadly, and Carlos Pacheco. Just some great art from the late 90s or early 90s. Yeah, Travis Cheres when he was channeling as Jim Lee. That too. But anyway, yes. Come on, DC. Get your shit together. Get us that Flash Omni.
And Ryan Barrett is noticing that I like nutty team-ups, nutty people team-ups, that I had Suicide Squad and Secret Six. Yes, thematically and stylistically similar. That is correct. I like both those concepts, the nutty character team-ups. I'm a big fan of that.
And Ryan Barrett, you're right. It is Paul Ryan and Oscar Jimenez are on this too. Man, there's so many great artists on this that I had forgotten about until I started getting these books. So, it is cool that we're getting them now finally. Before we just had like a couple, I think a total of like 4 trade paperbacks, and then the life of Barry Allen, or the history of the Flash by Iris West. But yeah, so I'm hoping sales of these will make them release an omnibus, but who knows? It's DC. All right, my friend. Last one.
Okay, last one. I just grabbed this because I only had 4, and so this is my 5 because it was on my read pile. But
Okay.
I love her character. I love what they've done with her, and there's now 3 trades out, which should be enough for an Omni. Well, there's only 16, 17 issues out. Maybe I should change it. I think I'm going to change it. I was going to say Kate Bishop Hawkeye, which I really like, but I don't think there's enough issues out yet for an omnibus.
Okay.
So I'll go with all new Wolverine X-23.
Oh, perfect size too for an omnibus.
Yeah, there's 5 trades out now, and great by Tom Taylor. Great writing, great character. I love Gabby. She's awesome. She has all the best lines in the book, which are really funny lines, but there's tons of heart and spirit in these characters. It's dramatic, but sharply written and really witty. She is a worthy successor to Logan, I believe. I love Laura, and I love or X-23, whatever you want to call her, but I think she's done a great job. Tom Taylor did a great job with all new Wolverine, so I would love to see an Omni of all new Wolverine featuring my gal X-23.
I could not agree more. Good. That's a good one, man. That's a good one. Don't break that arm beating yourself off. Let's see.
Whoa, take it easy.
My last one. Man, there's so many books that I want to see. But if I were to pick one that I can't believe is not out, I'm going to go with Roger Stern Avengers. I think that would be great. Now, I think they would have to do 2 volumes of that.
I haven't read that, so I cannot comment on that.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, to me, it's one of the best Avengers run, and older folk talk about it. I don't really see many people talk about it much in the group, but yeah, Avengers for sure, man, by Roger Stern.
When was that written? What era was that written?
Probably 87 to 90, probably. Wrote about 3 or 4 years. There's lots of epics out, but yeah, so all that could
probably be good because it was before the 90s. So
yeah, sure. But honestly, my other pick would have been 90s, and that's New Warriors Volume 2. That would have been my number 6. That's some of the best superhero soap opera-ish stories I've ever read. I love that stuff. By one of my favorite writers, Fabian Nicieza. And I think Volume 2 is where it really kicks off, and that's after Mark Bagley left, and it would be Derek Robertson on art.
So if Fabian is at the Baltimore Comic-Con, would you get him to sign a copy of Super Pro?
No, I don't own a copy of Super Pro.
What if I got you a copy of Super Pro off of eBay and gave it to you and insisted that you get him to sign it?
I would hope he looks at it and it's like, I'm not gonna sign that. What the hell's wrong with you? I got to interview him many years ago. He's such a nice dude. And I asked him, this is when he was writing Cable and Deadpool, and it was coming to an end. I asked him, I was like, well, what's been your favorite story you ever wrote? And he said New Warriors still. Like, it's his favorite thing he's ever written. And he's written some really good stuff, man. At least to me. But,
yeah. Is that first New Warriors Omni good?
Yeah. It was Marvel's it was Marvel's answer to New. It's weird, right? Because New Teen Titans was DC's answer to Uncanny X-Men, but Marvel at the time didn't have a lot of legacy characters. I mean, we really didn't. So that was like probably the first young hero team to come out of the late 80s, early 90s. It stuck around for a while, up until like 75 issues. and long before Young Avengers and things like that. Yeah, I love New Warriors. It's one of the most underrated, overlooked books because it came out in the 90s.
Mm.
Another book that came out in the 90s that I wish that they would do an omnibus of. This is another one. God, there's so many. Hitman. Why don't we have a Hitman?
Oh yeah, good point.
Look, I love the ending of Hitman. I fucking love that story.
And the trades are getting hard to find now. I think like 1 through 4. I know 1 and 2 are out of print, but I think 3 and 4 and maybe 6 or something crazy like that are really hard to find. That needs to be an evergreen title. That's I love that book. Good call. That is a great book.
Yeah, this was tough, man, because you limit yourself to 5. There's so many. All right, so let's take it to the chat. Let's see what I'm gonna look through here and see what people put besides pitchforks.
Iron Cardinal asks how I feel about the new Hawkeye-led West Coast Avengers.
I just saw that.
Yeah, I think it sounds fun, and I know the internet hates fun, so there's probably going to be a bunch of people that come out with pitchforks and torches and try and burn Marvel down. But I love the idea. It's a fun team that just sounds fun and crazy, and why not? I will buy the heck out of that oversized hardcover as soon as it comes out. It sounds great. Anything with Gwenpool, and I am in. And both the Hawkeyes and whoever else is in it. Sounds great.
You're such a loving guy. I love it. I love talking to you because you're so positive. Where most people would look at them and be like, "This book is full of stupid SJW people," and you look. Even though this is one thing I've complimented you on in the past, is that you have been reading comic books for so long. You are still not jaded. You're not jaded by the past of most of us get I got butt hurt during fucking Onslaught, right? They didn't even use lube on me. I dropped comics for 8 years because of Onslaught. It was so bad. And I had other things to spend money on too. That I took an interest in. But it just, you never went through that phase. And I think that's awesome, dude. That's very commendable.
Well, I like new stuff that is different. That pushes the envelope and just says, why not? And let's try it and see if it works. That's I don't know. That's my attitude about it. I want to find some new things that because this is my complaint about certain writers that I'm, because I have been reading comic books. I'm not trying to be a gatekeeper here. I'm just saying because I have read comic books for so long, I'm just tired of superhero punch-outs. That's all. I mean, I'm really tired of it. And so if you bring in a bunch of new characters that are going to be popping off witty dialogue as they dispatch the villains, I am not interested in seeing Superman fight Doomsday again across 45 pages. That just doesn't do it for me. I'm just not into that. And so if you've got something interesting for me that's different, great. I'm way excited for that.
Okay, that's a good answer. That's cool. Not a lot of people are like that. People fear change.
Well, when it comes to comic books, I embrace it.
So lots of people on the chat want to see Superman by John Byrne. Why? I didn't mention that one because I know it's coming. There's no way in hell DC is not releasing that book. 2 Omnis will collect all that stuff leading up to Exile.
And Jeff Johns' Superman, Kenny Craley's pounding the table for that.
Gosh, yes, thank you, Kenny. Yes, what? New Krypton, all the stuff that started with Donner. Oh man, yes. Why don't we have that stuff in Omni format?
Yeah. Let's see. Deathstroke by Marv Wolfman and Green Arrow by Mark Grell.
Oh God, that's another one.
Why did I looked right at it and I said Mike Grell.
Mike Grell, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I would love an omnibus by Judd Winnick too. Green Arrow. Judd Winnick's run was solid on that title.
I am not familiar with that book, so I cannot make fun of you for it. Damn it.
Well, it was Kevin Smith kicked it off with the rebirth of Green Arrow. What was it, Quiver? And Brad Meltzer took over the run, and then Judd Winnick went on and wrote that title up until 1 year. No, I think he finished it off. He rewrote past 1 year later and all that. His Green Lantern's solid too. Judd Winnick.
We're talking about Judd Winnick. His Power Girl's great.
Yeah, I forgot he did that. His Green Lantern, man, he introduced the concept of Ion. The guy, for a MTV, what was it, Real World guy, like he actually wrote some good stuff. I liked his Outsiders run too. He started off Exiles too at Marvel. So
I think I only know his Power Girl stuff.
Oh, of course, because
What?
Nothing.
Batman New 52 is on top of Omnibus list. I mean, we get Wonder Woman, Flash, Harley Quinn, New 52s. Why can't we get the most popular character in Omnis? I think that Snyder said there is going to be a New 52 Batman Omni coming out soon.
I thought he said it was it was all going to be collected in absolute format.
That's right. I think you are correct.
Yeah, they know where their money is.
Mm-hmm.
They know 14, 15 issues of Greg Capullo's artwork will get people to buy that stuff, or however many issues they put on those things.
Mm-hmm.
Manhunter. Did you ever read that?
I haven't, but I do have it. It's been highly recommended to me.
Wonderful series, and if you haven't read it, you should take the time while your wife's away to read it. You could read it all in one day, man. It's awesome.
Well, she gets back tomorrow at noon, so I don't have any time. I have time to catch up on the new Star Trek. That's what I'm going to do. I have to finish it before I'd go to the airport to pick her up.
Oh, okay. Sadly, if you have them in trade, the last trade got canceled, trade number 5. So,
that's right. I think
it was finished, I think, in Detective Comics, I believe, like backups of Detective Comics. Yeah, they can't fucking DC.
Wait a minute. Now I have 5 Manhunter. I'm sorry. I have 5 Manhunter trades. Have I got?
Yeah, I'm sorry. 5.
Manhunter?
No, I'm sorry. There were volume 6 got canceled.
Right. And so where do I find it?
Singles.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, seriously. Birds of Prey. I wish they would do Birds of Prey. Chuck Dixon leading up to Gail Simone's run. That whole Birds of Prey, man. Women power. See, guys? Women power? Because I don't like women of Marvel doesn't mean I don't like women. Yeah, Birds of Prey, man. That's so awesome. Especially when Gail Simone took over the book. I love Chuck Dixon stuff, but Gail just made it such a... Oh, damn.
She's a great writer. I love her stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Black Widow by Nathan Edmondson omnibus would be nice. I agree with that.
I've never read any of that. How is that?
That is really good. Kevin Sason says that. I totally
agree. When did that
agree.
take place?
I have it out in the other room. I don't remember. I just remember reading it. I mean, I can go get it and see.
No. I was curious as to when that came out. Like, was it after New Avengers? Was it after Kickman's Avengers?
I think that...
Because I don't know why I never read that.
If I'm getting it right, I think that's the most recent run. If I'm getting that right. I may not be getting that right. So when did that come out, Kevin Sason? Now, I mean, I read it, but I didn't pay attention to where it was in continuity or anything. Thunderbolts Omnibus.
And J-Rock's, dude, Ed Benes draws a mean Huntress. And then you get Nicola Scott. Oh my gosh. On art. Awesome. Yeah. And I totally agree. Sledge. Question. Dennis O'Neil. What's up? Where are we, DC? Come on. Oh, damn it. That's a good one, Flankers. Thunderbolts. Yes. The Busick and Fabian Nicieza run. Hell, I'll even take the crappy Fight Club omnibus. Throw that in there, too.
Yeah, I would love to see, as Omnipol said, a Red Hulk omnibus.
Okay, but would the Red Hulk Omnibus consist also of Jeff Loeb's run,
No.
or start with Parker?
Start with Parker.
Because I think it would sell. It would start. You would have to sell the Jeff Loeb run with Ed McGuinness.
Then I'm not buying it.
And well, you're going to, because Jeff Parker's run's going to be called Volume 2 in my hypothetically speaking world.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I just want to spend your money, Jess.
Thank you. And Kevin is saying that Black Widow by Edmondson was part of Marvel Now.
Okay. Okay.
I just pick up the Black Widows and read them because I don't really... The last Black Widow I read didn't really seem to have much to do with anything else except just Black Widow. There was no other... If I recall correctly, there were no other there were no intersecting characters. It didn't have anything to do with anything else. It was her atoning for her past sins. That's the last Black Widow I read, and I think that was the Nathan Edmondson run, and it was really good.
Okay. Was it Lloyd Wong? Greg Ruckus Punisher? Hell yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Hell yes. So here's some that I know will eventually get released, right? This is why I didn't name them. New Mutants, Volume 1. I think we will definitely get that. I still think we'll get an Excalibur out of there. We'll get Excalibur Volume 1. The one that I didn't name was the Uncanny X-Men Volume 4. Or the John Romita Jr., Chris Claremont Uncanny X-Men, whatever they decide to call it. I think that Marvel is smart enough to split that into 2 Omnis, because that will collect 176 to 209, but you also have annuals. You also have the Alpha Flight miniseries. You could throw in other miniseries at the time. They could pad it out into 2 Omnis. And I can kind of see them doing that because there are people like me out there that will fucking buy them. And people like you that I will suggest buying them because they're really good reads.
Right. Flanker asks, he just read Battlefields by Ennis. Have you guys read it? I read it sometime in the past couple years. I read the first hardcover is badly out of print, but otherwise it's easy to get. In trade form, it is excellent.
I can't remember if I've read that one or not. Because didn't he do more than that, like as far as war stories?
Yeah, he has something called War Stories.
That's it. That's the one I read. Okay.
Then he did something, I think, like Screaming Eagles or something he did. I've got something else by him, but I can't get to it attached to my headphones. He's got something else too. Yeah, I love his war stuff.
Sledge, I feel you. I'm not a big Howard Mackie fan, but I kind of dug Mutant X, and it might have been the Tom Rainey artwork, but I'd buy the shit out of a Mutant X Omnibus. Hell, we're getting a Weapon X Omnibus. Might as well throw Exiles in there. You know? It's all these X titles they could do. Extreme X-Men. I'm sure Extreme X-Men is coming too. Oh, here's a good question. Jess, Omar, how many years have you been collecting comic books? I'll let you go first, man.
I've been collecting comic books longer than Omar's been alive.
Makes me feel a little bit better.
I've been collecting them now, let me think, 53 years.
Oh, God!
Kennedy wasn't in office, but LBJ was in office when I started collecting comic books. That's how long I've been collecting comic books. Johnson was president.
Amazing. You went through some really good periods, man, and some really shitty periods.
I've been through a lot.
I have been reading and I guess collecting because I kept my books since I was 5 years old. So that's 35 years for me. That's
still a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I started when I was 6. So that is 35 years is a solid chunk of reading.
Yeah. It was a lot. It's been a lot of fun. Had mostly ups, few downs, but it's been a lot of fun. And then I got into, how about collected editions? Collected editions, I think for me, I went full blown collected editions in 2000 and was it 2003? I think 2003 is when I was like No more single issues. From now on, I'm getting only collected editions.
Oh, you
At
were
that time,
smart.
what? Can I quote you on that?
I said you were smart.
I like to think so, but yeah,
Uh,
2003 was when I started just getting only collected editions.
well, then I am a relative newbie to collected editions compared to you. I think that I bought Fantastic Four Volume 1 probably around 2010, I believe.
Omnibus or
Omnibus, yeah.
okay. So
I
you bought the second printing.
I think I have the first printing because it's giant.
The first printing stands out because it doesn't say Marvel Omnibus. It just has like a white with the
And I
red
got the second
Marvel.
printing
Okay.
because it
And
does say Marvel Omnibus on it, but it's thicker paper, so it's like that big.
yeah, and there was a third printing too. And the third
Okay.
printing only had the direct market cover on it, not the Ledron cover. I think Ledron did the cover, the variant cover. Yeah,
Mm.
I've got the second printing because I did not like that spine on the first printing.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, so that was like I bought that and I noodled around for a while, just getting trade paperbacks here and there. But I think it was 2014 when I went cold turkey and quit single issues and started collecting trades. 2014, so 4 years ago, is when I started the collected thing.
Yeah, and
And
it's
then
been a lot of fun.
yes, it has been, and I agree, Sledge. We really need a Jonah Hex omnibus and All Star Western omnibus.
Would that
Yes.
be Jonah Hex by Palmionti?
Yeah, although you could go all the way back to his beginning. I loved Jonah Hex by Gray and Palmiotti. I loved All Star Western by those guys. I've read all that. But you could go back to his origin back in the 70s. And those were great too. Weird Western Tales. I love those. Those are some of the things I really loved in the 70s was like weird Western tales and weird war stories and just anything with weird in the title. I was all about it.
Oh, weird. So you were a big fan of EC books.
Yeah. And also Creepy and Eerie, I was a fan of. I was a fan of EC books. Creepy, Eerie, Vampirella. I love those.
I wonder why you like Vampirella.
Because I was a 13-year-old boy. Yeah.
No, I'm a big fan of the EC line, and I stick to the horror though. I stick to Haunt of Fear, Tales from the Crypt, and Vault of Horror.
Right.
Yeah. Which they need to finish Haunt of Fear. We only have one more volume of that and one more volume of Vault of Horror. What's up? Come on, Dark Horse. Don't leave me stranded. Oh, and I like shock and suspense stories too.
Yeah.
Honestly, the EC lines are some of the best comic books you're ever going to read. So.
I totally agree. They have aged very well.
Yes.
Holy
crap, Iron Cardinal, you've only been collecting for 7 months? That's awesome, dude. I've collected close to 100 Omnis, Absolutes, OHCs, and complete collections. You ain't done all that. Good for you, man. Sometimes I wonder, like, if I had waited longer to collect, like I probably would have acquired things a lot cheaper, but then I think like, but then I would have missed out on some of these things that are out of print. Who God knows when they'll be back in print, like Annihilation or Wolverine Omnibus Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, that's like one of the most popular characters at Marvel.
Answering Yavash, my spiritual twin from England. Yes, I did talk about All New Wolverine Omni. That was the 5th one I chose as the one I want to be made. So, Avash, as usual, we are in sync. He and I dig the same books and the same music. He's turned me on to a ton of good music.
That's awesome. You found a kindred spirit online.
I have, yeah. He's a grumpy young man instead of a grumpy old man.
I wouldn't. I don't think I would describe you as a grumpy old man.
And actually, Yavash may not be grumpy. I'm just teasing.
Flanker 607. Any idea if we will finally get the Transformers Classic UK Volume 6 this June? I have been holding on to my Volume 5. For 2 years now, that damn volume has been pushed back and again, over and over. And I don't know what the hell's going on with IDW, because we only need, I think, 3 more volumes to complete the UK run. So hopefully, I'm with you, man. I've had that thing pre-ordered by Amazon, and I swear, like every 6 months, I have to click on the, are you still interested in this book?
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Oh,
I don't
well.
know anything about the book, but that
Transformers was released by Marvel in America, and then when the series was over, Simon Furman, he was a UK creator. The series continued in the UK, so that's what's being collected.
Okay.
So that's what I'm hoping, that they keep going with it. But
Patrick Ken has a good question. I see they got Chris Pratt to star in Cowboy Ninja Viking. Is it worth it to pick up the comic? No, it is not.
You hated that book. I remember that.
I did not care for that book. That is gonna be when Luis and I do our next episode of the Wednesday show. We're gonna do our 5 biggest disappointments in comics. That's gonna be one of them, because I hunted for that oversized hardcover forever. I found it on my West Coast tour back in 2016. I was so excited. Everybody said it was so great. And it's just not. Now, of course, this is just my opinion. I always have to say I'm sorry when I don't like a book. But man, that thing was just a mishmash of, I just could not get into it. It was just all, these personalities invade these characters, and they can act like different characters because they have different powers of the characters. But it was so jumbled up and so confusing that I just couldn't follow it. It was almost like reading Grant Morrison at his most Grant Morrison-esque, only without the Lovecraftian references. I don't know. It was too confusing. There it is. It was too confusing. I didn't get it. I didn't dig it. I'm sorry. Those of you who love it, good. I wish I could. I'm actually jealous of you. I wish I could get into it, but I just was like dumbfounded. I only made it about 3/4 of the way through, and I said, life's too short.
Damn,
especially when you get to be my age. I don't have that much time left. I can't be spending it reading Cowboy Ninja Viking.
You got plenty of time. You got plenty of time. Jay Rocks was asking if we had read any of the RoboCop comics. The only one I read was the RoboCop versus Terminator. That was the Frank Miller and Walter Simonson, I think. Have you read any of that stuff?
I have not.
Miller wrote the script to RoboCop 2 and 3, the movies. So the only comic I read was the RoboCop versus Terminator. Biggie Cheese asking the important question: is Kill or Be Killed worth reading? I'm going to tell you something that Jess is already thinking. If it has the name Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, you bet your ass it's worth reading. I've read the first couple of books, and I am waiting for the hardcover, which I know is coming. I think what issue are they up to, like issue 20 or something?
I don't know. I'm right there with you. I read the first trade. I was completely enamored with it. I thought it was awesome, and I said I'm not buying anything else. I'm waiting for the OHC, waiting for the hardcover. It's gonna get a hardcover, and I thought it was a great first trade. And I'm missing out by not getting the other trades. I don't know what issue it's up to now. I've completely disengaged from it. But man, was it good. I really loved Kill or Be Killed, and I can't wait for it to come out in some big Image book that's so beautiful.
You know it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know it's coming.
And he's right. I was thinking the exact same thing that Omar said. Anything Brubaker and Phillips is, I don't even have to know what it's about to know that I want to read it.
I can't, honestly, anything Brubaker, like, it is super gold.
Mm-hmm.
The only books I probably wouldn't recommend most people buying are son of a bitch, X-Men, Deadly Sin. The hell was it called?
Oh, he wrote X-Men for a while?
Yeah, he wrote the Rise and Fall of the Shi'ar Empire, and then one more trade after that. But then before that, he wrote that 6-issue miniseries that introduced Vulcan. It was an editorial mandate, like to write that character in, and it was retconning a lot of X-Men stuff, Giant Size X-Men 1. So that's about the. What the hell was that series called? Deadly
Emperor
Past.
Vulcan?
No, the miniseries
Oh.
before. Nick Munoz, you go to hell. I do not hate women. Shut up. I love that he just chimes in. He just jumps in and starts with the rough questions. So somebody asked something up here. Jess, Omar, have you read Deadly Class? Is it that good that it's getting a TV show next year? I'm going to say that.
Say what I'm thinking.
Well, I don't know what you're thinking. We've talked about this, but I don't want to spoil it for you. Deadly Class to me is, how do I describe it? Like, it is a perfect mashup of like Harry Potter and like Game of Thrones, Naruto, which just has no idea what the hell I'm talking about. A bunch of kids that are going to school, to an assassin school, right? Yeah, they get together to, and there's so much backstabbing, oh my god, it is so good, so good, and I feel like the TV show could be golden if it's done right. And it's got the Russo brothers producing it, the guys that did Infinity War.
Yeah,
the first trailer is out and it looks solid. It looks true to the comic. So, and it takes place in the 80s. I mean, best time to be alive, really. So yes, I highly recommend Deadly Class. So much so that I would advise not to get the trade, but get the oversized hardcover, library edition hardcover. Because volume 2 comes out in the summer sometime.
Yeah, and that's when I'm going to read it again. I read it in floppies up to about issue 2020. I loved it, and then I got the oversized hardcover, and now I should probably start reading it. I better read it now because my Hickvengers readathon, my Hickathon is starting on Memorial Day, starting with Secret Warriors and ending with Secret Wars. So
that's what it's called.
I better get everything read before that because that's going to swallow up my whole summer.
Hickvengers?
No, it's everything Hickman Marvel. Starting with Secret Warriors and then going all the way through to Secret Wars.
Okay.
So you got Fantastic Four and Hickvengers in there too. And Shield's Architects of Forever and the new Shield book that's coming out.
Yep.
And then there's some Ultimate books too that I need to read in there.
So the only thing I'm worried about that show is, like Iron Cardinal said, it was Sci-Fi Channel. So I don't know if the violence will be there. I don't know. I haven't seen. Maybe. Somebody. Oh, thank you, Yvash. Deadly Genesis. That's what that story was called. I know it was close with Deadly Sin or something stupid like that. Oh, J-Rox did not like Deadly Class. Really? Man, that's like one of my favorites. I love that. It's up there with Fear Agent for me.
Yeah, I love Deadly Class too.
I would say Deadly Class is probably my second favorite Remender book that up there. I liked it more than I did Black Science and Crawl Space, Tokyo Ghost. I'm looking at all my stuff and low. Number 1 and then Black Science. Independent stuff. Not counting his Uncanny X-Force and things like that.
Flanker says I read Spaceman by Azzarello. Am I the only one that hated it? No,
that book gets a lot of hate.
I hated it too.
It's confusing as shit to read because of the interesting dialogue that is spoken.
Yeah,
slang.
Didn't dig that book. It may be because I don't like smart comics. Maybe because I have to have it spoon fed to me.
Don't be so hard on
yourself. I didn't dig that book.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
And I like Azzarello. He wrote the greatest Batman story ever for Flashpoint.
Okay, I was gonna say you better not be fucking talking about Broken City.
No, I'm not.
All right.
I loved his Flashpoint Batman story, and I love Azzarello, 100 Bullets and other stuff. But, yeah, no, I did not dig Spaceman.
Comic Book Hub has a question. I don't have this, but is your Spidey Deadpool hardcover binding messed up?
The oversized hardcover?
Yeah. He said he's got multiple replacements and all have the first couple pages detached from the binding,
Oh
only held
no.
only held on by a thread. I
No.
don't own it, but I know Jess does.
Yeah, no, it's in fine shape. I think I'm looking right at it over there somewhere. Yeah, no, I read it and it's in fine shape. That's just
Man,
bad luck.
Biggie Cheese with the hard questions. What X-Force comic runs do you recommend reading, and in what order should I read them? And what do I need to know before reading them? All you need to know is that the New Mutants went on for about 100 issues, and then Rob Liefeld came on board in issue 86. Completely game changer. I know he's one of those guys that you either love or hate, but changed the game as far as like what that book was about. It went from like goofy hijinks with kids traveling through other dimensions and teaming up with a dude named Bird Brain to kind of a militant group when Cable shows up in issue 87. By issue 98, Louise Simonson is out, and Rob Liefeld and Fabian Nicieza are writing New Mutants, which gets canceled in issue 100 to be relaunched as X-Force #1. And then, honestly, those, if you want, the X-Force #1 Omnibus is cheap enough that I definitely recommend picking that up. I think it's like $30, and it collects about 30, 32, 33 issues, something like that. The other books that I would recommend, of course, I would recommend Ecstatics, but that has nothing to do with X-Force, is X-Force by Kyle and Yost. Those are wonderful books that started off in New X-Men, and they became an X-Force during the Messiah Complex storyline, so I would start off with Messiah Complex. These are available in trade, by the way, because the hardcovers are a little bit harder to find, and then X-Force Volume 1 and 2, and definitely Uncanny X-Force by Rick Remender. That's a great book. Those would be the ones that I definitely recommend to read as far as X-Force. It's a good. There's some really good stories in there. Of course, I would tell you to get them all because I'm a X fanatic.
I have nothing to say about it.
But do you have anything to say about Mike F's question reprint of Infinity Gauntlet Omnibus? Where is that?
I don't know. I can't imagine. I'm shocked that it didn't come out before the movie.
Are you? But they announced that stupid Infinity War box set that you and Gabe bought. You bought it, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Stupid. That thing's great. But it doesn't take the place of the Infinity Gauntlet Omnibus.
Don't you fucking lie to me. You ain't read a damn bit of that box set. Jazz.
That doesn't mean it's not awesome.
You collectors make me sick. Kettle meat pot.
Yeah, right. As a matter of fact, update. There's my Akira box set, still with the seal on it, still in shrink wrap.
Nice. Who the hell am I to judge? I got a freaking
fun.
backlog.
I like it when you judge. It's cool.
Hey Omar, what were your thoughts on Infinity War? We had an episode on that, but just to sum it up, it was everything I wanted from a comic book movie and more.
Yeah, I need to see it again because it was awesome and I want to see it again. I think Gabe's already seen it 3 or 4 times. You've already seen it twice, right? Or 3 times?
3 times. 3 times.
Yeah, I need to get to the theater and see it again.
And Iron Cardinal, I'm with you. Box set is not oversized. So, yep. I will wait for my Infinity War, Infinity Watch Omnibus, and then Infinity Crusade that no one wants. Man, Iron Cardinal really liked it. He saw it 7 times. Hope
wow.
all those were legal. I like the box sets a lot more if they were oversized. Yeah, me too.
Well, I agree with that.
Currently reading Morrison's JLA run. Is DC 1 Million Omni worth reading? I would read the miniseries. I don't think, and then the JLA team, because the Omnibus puts all the DC 1 million issues in there. And some of them make no sense unless you're like Starman 1 million makes no sense unless you're reading Starman.
Mm.
Young Justice makes no sense. So stick to just the 4-issue miniseries and Justice League 1 million. You'll be fine. You don't need to read the omnibus unless you're a completist. Then go for it.
And Yavash can confirm that Deadpool 2 is fantastic. That's good.
He's already seen it. Awesome. Okay.
That is really good. I'm really excited for that movie.
I will probably watch it on Sunday. I'm busy doing family things on Friday and Saturday.
I will see it next week during the day when school is still in session, when nobody else is in the theater.
Spoken like an old retired man. With your cup of McDonald's coffee.
And then I'm going to go to the early bird dinner.
And fall asleep a few times in the theater.
Right. Have dinner at 4:30 after I fall asleep and take my nap in Deadpool.
All right. The Thanos motivation makes sense, though, to you. And what was the point of that ending if we all know it will be copped out reversed? Yeah, I dug his motivation for a MCU. I think it was good. Instead of introducing a bony ass death that he tries to impress, like in the comic books, I think his motivation made sense to me. As far as that ending, I thought it was great. I mean, honestly, it's great if you don't read comic books. You have no idea where this is going.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling. I like that feeling, leaving a theater like that. Like, all hope is lost.
Mm-hmm. Yavash, I don't know what Swiss Cottage is. What's Swiss Cottage?
A cheese?
Is it where old people go to eat in England?
Oh, perhaps.
Maybe he's making an old person joke at my expense, which is fine. I'm used to it.
I thought it was a perfect blending of cheeses, Swiss and cottage.
Oh. Oh, it is where old people go to eat in England. Okay, I'll look it up.
I'm waiting on the Infinite Crisis Omnibus. Yes, I love that story. And one of my favorite things about the Omni, and I'm glad it's getting reprinted. Awesome. That's awesome for the people that missed it, is that a lot of those lead-up stories to Crisis or Infinite Crisis are fucking awesome. Like Villains United, we just talked about that. What was the Ranthanagar War? What was the magic one called? Where they get rid of magic, and then Superman Sacrifice.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to think. I know all those miniseries you're talking about.
Bill Willingham wrote it. I cannot remember what the miniseries was called. It had Blue Devil and all the magic people. Yeah, all the series leading up to Infinite Crisis, and then of course the Teen Titan issues. Oh man, I just love Infinite Crisis. I love Jeff Johns. I'm a Jeff Johns fanboy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I would not buy a Jeff Johns omnibus. Jeff Johns DC Universe Stories omnibus.
No, I agree.
Yes, Brian Polito's Lady Death. Yeah, okay. I'm with you, J-Rox. You're right, man. Yes, the 52 Omni is a great follow-up. I just wish they would have collected the World War III 4-issue miniseries in there.
Jared Gawking, what have you seen on eBay for $500? Not Infinite Crisis. I hope not. If somebody's still trying to get money for that, they are stuck with. If they bought it for expensive and are trying to sell it for more expensiver, they're in trouble.
Is that a word?
No.
Damn. We just lost all kinds of credibility.
We didn't have that much.
My women hate speech and the Living Tribunal. Yes, all the way in Avengers 4. Maybe we might see that. Be kind of cool to see what characters they add. All right, let's take a couple more questions and call it a night.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of your list, man. I like that list of books that wish. Like I said,
thank you.
The only book in that list that I have not read or know nothing about is Postal. But I trust your judgment. I'm still holding out on Irredeemable. I keep meaning to check on Volume 4. So gonna try to pick those up.
It's gotta be reprinted. I just can't imagine that it's sold out in 2 weeks or something. And
let me ask you a serious question, because you and I talk about double dipping. And then we'll go back to the chat and get a couple more. But would you double dip on that if they released an omnibus of Irredeemable?
Ooh, no. I'm happy with the oversized hardcover.
Wuss. So disappointed in you. The correct answer is yes, Omar, and I would gladly give you my oversized hardcovers.
Oh, that's where we were going. I see. Okay.
And I would be like, you're too kind of a man, Jess. See, I've already played the scenario out in my head.
Wow, you have too much free time on your hands, buddy.
No, it's just the way my head doesn't stop. Omar, do you know Infinite Crisis will have extras? My God, that book is huge. I don't know how many extras they can include. I know they included, at least in the original printing, they included all the variant covers and things like that, and a couple of sketches from Jim Lee, but that's about it. Oh, Iron Cardinal. No, I haven't. I did get them, though. I have acquired the Sons of Anarchy comics. I just haven't had a chance to read them yet. I really want to read Fractions F4.
Yeah, F4 was okay.
That was the good book. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the was that the Alred one?
Yeah. That was where they had the substitute Fantastic Four, I think.
Yes.
The Fantastic Four left interesting characters behind. I haven't read it myself. I just know the concept.
Yeah. The Fractions Fantastic Four with Bagley was okay. Fantastic Four without the Fantastic Four, sign me up. Yeah, Biggie Cheese, you're right. There are a lot of Omnis that deserve omnibuses. But how in the world does Clone Saga have an omnibus? Because of completists. Because of people like me that find them at a flea market and then end up buying Volume 2. Billy or Kalax? That's a good question.
I have both, so I'm happy.
I'm a big fan of the Billy. All right, Michael Curry. Good luck, my friend.
Yeah, best of luck to you.
Yeah, I'm glad we set you up. We're your fluffers, I guess.
Ooh.
Black Hammer Library Edition is coming. Yes, Omnipool. I saw that today. I think Louise posted it in the Facebook group.
Yeah, that awesome. I have a decision to make because that's going to be big.
It's huge.
Usually I don't upgrade, but that's going to be gigunda compared to the trades.
What do you? Oh, you got the trades right now?
I have the trades,
standard?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about that book. I've been waiting for a hardcover, and I didn't know it was going to be a library edition. So, well, that's awesome. That's a win-win.
Yeah, that's a big win for you.
I don't like that the Kalax have open backs. A lot of the guys like Kalax because they're actually able to support the Omnis.
Yeah.
I've had my Billies full of Omnis for a couple of years now, and they're hanging strong.
My Kalax has Sideshow collectibles on top and full of Omnis, and everything's been fine. I don't know. If we get another earthquake here, I might be in trouble, but we haven't had an earthquake here in 5 years, so.
You better knock.
That was the first one in 100 years, so.
You better knock on wood.
Yeah, if I lived in California, this would be a much different setup.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on where you live. Have you guys read Jim Starlin's 3DC Cosmic Trilogy from the late aughts?
I have not.
No, I wonder which ones they are, Andrew. I don't think I have. How was Deadpool, Brian?
What, I heard we had the show instead of seeing DP2 opening night? Yeah, that's because we're dedicated and we have a sponsor now.
And I have kids and they got to be at school tomorrow and I got work tomorrow. Otherwise, I would have.
Have I seen the Tinkerbell Sideshow statue? I'm going to look at it right now.
Oh, and there we go. We just lost Jess. Endless loop of statue.
Look at this.
Yeah, I think I'll go Sunday to watch DP. It was okay. 7.5 funny, but I thought DP1 was better.
I love DP1.
Yeah, it was good.
Tinkerbell.
This one I think had a lot more Ryan Reynolds too.
Ooh. Tinkerbell's a hottie.
Man, what have you done, J-Roggs?
She's not very expensive, and she's a beauty. Wow.
All right, come on, focus. Omnibuses. All right, so second end credit scene was epic, so we'll stay for that. You got it. I usually stay for most of those things. Anyway. All right, my friend. My kid's calling. I am ready to jump off.
Okay.
Let's call it a night.
I'm going to go look at Tinkerbell for a while.
Yeah, you do that.
But first, we need to recognize our fabulous sponsor, In Stock Trades, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on 2 to 3%. Every quarter, you get an OmniBros Live discount code. Over $50 gets you free shipping in the United States. Fabulous packaging and the best customer service around. That's instocktrades.com. We love them. They love us, I'm pretty sure.
Or they tolerate us.
They tolerate us.
Thank you very much, guys, for watching. I will not be on next Thursday because for the first time in ever, my show, we're doing a live show at the same time. OmniBros is on Thursday night. It's the only time that we could all get together to do like our 100th episode special thing. We have giveaways.
You're cheating on me with another YouTube group?
I really thought about like maybe I should join both ongoing live chats and kill the bandwidth.
Holy guacamole! Now I know.
I know, man. It's rough. It's rough, dude. I'm always with you. Come on, man.
Oh.
It's a special event. It's a it's a fan appreciation event, so we're giving away prizes. Maybe you should tune in instead of doing the show.
I'll have you on my phone and while I'm broadcasting regular.
We should do a crossover show.
We should, yeah. Parallel
jumping on back and forth between both episodes. I don't know if my brain could handle it. But anyway, but I'll be on Monday. So
okay.
You can find me on my channel at Near Mint Condition. And Jess,
you can find me on my channel, OmniDog's Vault, where I believe I'm going to do a video right after this while I still have the energy. Although I'm running out of energy.
All right,
I have to do this Red Hulk video. Damn
it! I got you all wound up. Go do your thing, man.
Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate everybody in the chat. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Listen to us on iTunes. They have us in podcast form. And if you have an Android, do the whatever Android does for podcasts, because I don't know what
it's the same app, I think. Okay.
It's a different app, I think. It's called something different. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, lesson learned. Thank you guys again. And everybody have a great night.
Thanks, everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love.